Hey y'all, Crazy Eye with Crazy Eye Outdoors. All right, what I decided I was going to do today is we're going to go to the Okefenokee swamp and we're going to do it on the cheap. What I mean by on the cheap is I'm carrying nothing but my driver's license. I have no money. I don't have my cash card. What can we do at the Okefenokee swamp on the Folkestone side for I'm not sure what the price to get your vehicle in. I think it's like $5. So we'll say $5. Now, in my case, I'm doing it really on the cheap because I have, this is what we call this, America the Beautiful Access. This is an access card. Being a 100% disabled veteran as far as the VA is concerned, I can get this for free. That's on the cheap. And instead of buying drinks and food there, it's not cheap. I did go by and get my 79-cent Polar Pop. Anyway, here we go. All right, this is Highway 121 south of Folkestone, Georgia. This is the road that connects Folkestone to St. George. And we're probably 4 miles south of Folkestone. And here's the sign you'll come to. Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge. Okay, so here we are at the Folkestone side of the Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge. This is Camp Cornelia, and we are at the, also called Swanee Canal. We are at the boat docks, and I'll give you here in a little bit some prices of being able to go on a boat tour, which the boat tours are really nice. They go a long ways out. You have there's a lot of information that's put out. You can also, if you can see back there in the back, you have canoes and kayaks. You can rent them, and you can rent the John boats. We're not going to do that today because we're on the cheap, and that's not cheap. Oh, and bicycles. You can rent bicycles also. So let's look around a little bit, and I will take you into Okefenokee Adventures. It's that's where you can rent all this stuff, and there is food. Of course, I ate before I got here. I'm telling you what, you can do a trip out here, an all-day trip, and have a lot of fun and pay next to nothing. All right, let's go inside. All right, so this is the door going into Okefenokee Outfitters. Oh, wrong one. Appreciate it. Like I said, it serves as a restaurant. Some real cool pictures and stuff. So some of these pictures are out of, I'll try to put it in the comments or in the title. I don't remember the name of the book right off. I have one, I think, still at the house. But like this young man, he lived out on Billy's Island. He was one of the Lee sons. I believe he was killed by a train out there at a young age. But that's him, picture of him, sitting with a blueberry bush and eating the berries off of it. Unfortunately, the museum is not open today, so we won't be able to go into that. However, we might be able to look around the water's edge, and it'd be nice if we see a huge snapping turtle So that's half of a snapping turtle shell. That was a pretty good sized turtle. Used to have some arrowheads up there. Excuse me. And here's your gift shop. All the nice little trinkets and t-shirts. There we go. Bubba gator sauce. Gator squeezins. Good hot sauces. And if you're looking to fish here, some of the stuff, especially this one right here, that is a spinner bait. That is probably my top go-to for mudfish or chain pickerel. Red, white, and yellow with a spinner. These up here do well. That is my go-to. It's always been my go-to. All right, we'll let Evelyn do her business. So if you and your family want somewhere to come have a picnic, I mean, this place is nice. You got a lot of shade. Now, granted, it is still 90-something degrees right now. Got benches out there, bathroom way back to the back, and you have these covered areas if you actually want to do a family reunion type of deal. And like I said, the museum is not open today, but that's where we would go in. Richard S. Bolt Visitor Center. One of my videos already has the museum on it. Has the talking animatronic person robot guy. And a bunch of stories he can tell. And there's a movie theater. Let's see. This is the back side of the museum. All our rocking chairs. And being middle of summer, a lot of this grass grows out further into the water, but usually this will be that wide. I was hoping to get a sight of a gator. I'm sure we'll see one eventually, but a lot of times you'll have gators up here. Often during the winter, when that grass is down, there is a huge snapping turtle that hangs out back here. He is big enough, if you were to get your leg, I don't care how big you think you are, you got your leg near his mouth, he would take it off with the ankle, not a problem. Massive jaws. All right, y'all, we're going to take a walk down the cane pole trail. So you'll have little cutout areas like we're about to come up to here. Well, here's a little cutout. You could throw a little cane pole in and actually catch some of them. Springtime, they're all through this area. The warmouth and the chain pickerel and the mudfish and the alligators. Here's your little viewing area. There's also a good fishing area. You'll have to excuse me, I'm breathing loud. My sinuses are stopped up, so I'm having to be a mouth breather right now. That is a nice sized gator. He's right up here along the shore. He was hoping I was fishing. What they'll do is they will get, as soon as they see you throw your rod in, if you've already caught a fish, they'll get to where your line, they'll get to where the line has to go across their back. So when you catch your next fish, they get to keep it for you. They help you take it off the hook, you know. That is a nice one. I'm saying 10, 11 foot on him. This trail is a really easy to use trail. As far as anybody, you know, using a cane or whatever, it's not very long. As you can see, they put something down on it to keep the grass and roots out of the way. And in a minute, we'll end up at the bird watching area at the end of the trail. Okay, this is the last little sit down spot, which isn't that far from the other one. It's the last one until you get to the bird watching area. So, see how much wider it is now. You have where that point is right here. That point actually has a canal that goes back that way. That's for outgoing traffic. That's for incoming traffic, just to keep the tour boats from running you over. That's where the big gator was, down on the little outgoing. And the canal gets, well, gets this big. It stays like that for the next 10 miles. Good paddling. If you notice also, if you watch the leaves on the water out there, so most people, first off, this is not tidal at all. However, it does pour out into the St. Mary's River and into the Swanee River over on the west side of the swamp. At song namesake, the Swanee River. So yeah, same one. It actually starts here in the interior of the swamp. Oh, something hit the water. But anyway, so simply because that it's the water's leaving, it has a very, very gradual current. Man, they're hitting all over the place. Look at that. All right, let's go. Oh my goodness, AC feels so good. Yeah, it's 91 degrees, probably 80+% humidity. So what we're going to do now is we're heading out of the parking lot and we're going to go down what is known as the Chester Island Trail. And when we get out there, we'll come to an old house, a settlement area that was owned by the Chesters. Oh my God, I think it was my history's rough right now. I think it was the 1920s when the government took this over as a national wildlife refuge, and they were given their walking papers. They were paid for their place, but they actually still have a presence here in the county. Really nice people, and the Roddenberrys and the Chesters, I think, still come out here a lot and actually help maintain the place. I know a lot of my cousins on the Roddenberry side do. Anyway, so let's head down this trail. I'll give you a little bit of viewing on it. It's a beautiful drive. There are some trails off to the side of it, but let's. All right, so I'm sorry, Swamp Island Drive. That's what's on the board. There's still Chester Island Drive Road. And we're going to come to a trail up here called Canal Diggers Trail. We'll do a quick walk of it. Basically, for history's sake, Canal Diggers Trail was when they tried to drain the swamp, and they dug a canal, and turns out instead of pouring out into the, or back into the river came to it. So thank goodness they failed. So as you see here, it's a little over a half-mile loop, 0.7 miles. I'm not going to do the whole trail because people would get tired of just walking through the woods, I think. And I don't want to spoil it for you. If you do come out here, I will show you some of the really cool stuff on it. And if we see any critters, oh yeah. So here's the trail. Now this one isn't covered up by whatever it was they had on the other trail. So you still have roots, pine roots coming out. And, oh man, it feels nice in here. That wind. It's almost like I'm back in the AC. It might be harder for y'all to hear, but feeling good. Speaking of the canal, see that drop off? See the water? That is part of the canal that actually was used to, that they tried to drain the swamp. They were trying to drain it, and I'll come back with all the history later, but they tried to drain it in order to get the timber off of it and turn it into farmland. This, of course, was way before it became a national wildlife refuge. Thank goodness. And this is a little bridge crossing the canal itself. Now, granted, it's not near as open as it was a long time ago, but I want you to see something. So remember I told you that they thought that it was going to drain the swamp to the river. Look which way the water's going. That's going back into the swamp. Got him. Sometimes corporate greed just don't work out for you. All right, we're getting back to the truck. I made it a quick walk. Didn't really see much as far as the critters. I imagine they're laying low, trying to stay cool. I did spook what I think was probably a white-tailed deer, but never saw it, never could get the camera out of my pocket. I won't be having that in my pocket anymore. I'll have it where I can get to it. So anyway, that is Canal Diggers Trail. Well, I would have read that out to you. Jackson. It was Jackson's Folly, 1891. Swanee Canal Company began digging a drainage canal with the thought that perhaps a swamp would be suitable for farming if it was drained. 4 years later, sandy soil and poor planning by the owner, Captain Harry Jackson, forced the company to abandon the idea of development. That also had a lot to do with the fact that it wasn't going to drain. All right, so still on the road, coming up to a nice little oak hammock. So one of the things you can do out here, you can walk this thing. I mean, I wouldn't do it on a hot day, not without a lot of water, because this is a decent length of road, but it's beautiful. I mean, I would prefer driving it. That's all I'm saying. That's all. So right here is a little pond. I don't know what they have in here now. I'm sure there's some gators in there somewhere. I'm not seeing them right at the moment. Back when I worked out here, back in the 80s, there was a, what was that? It was a caiman. It was a type of caiman that they brought out here. Why, I don't know, but I'll have to look it up. I think it was a black caiman. Cute little guy. Now, a lot of times during the year, this canal ditch, I'll call it a ditch, actually is not that choked with vegetation. And sometimes you'll see alligators and turtles, all kind of stuff. Every now and then, even now, you'll see them on the side of the road, but I'm not seeing any yet. Okay, so this is the homestead. Just kidding. That's the bathroom. Right here's a little open area you can cool down in. Yep, still got the benches. You can cool down in if you're biking. This is Cheshire Island Homestead. You know how I know it's Cheshire Island Homestead? The sign says Cheshire Island Homestead. And because I'm friends with them and I've known this all my life. So here's the trail coming into the homestead. Nice little trail. Watch out for the roots. So up here to our left is another trail called the Deer Stand Trail. It will actually connect to the place we're going next, which is the boardwalk, and be able to walk out onto the swamp a good ways, half a mile distance. We're going to take the truck because it has AC. Pretty cool saying. Totally agree. All right, so this is a sort of laid out map, excuse me, of the homestead. This is your backside. That's the syrup shed, which is back over in there. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough just so that you can get an idea. Like I say, I don't want to spoil this for people. I don't want them to come out here and go, oh yeah, I've already seen this. All right. Right over here was, of course, where they would keep their buggies, horses, and the pen right there. So anytime you needed to go to town, you'd grab one of your horses, grab a saddle, or if you have to haul some stuff back from somewhere in town, the hardware store, can't think of the name, general store or whatever, you take that Toyota. If you're going to church, you take the Lexus, the nice carriage. Anyway, your horses would be back in there. We're not going to be able to go into the house because it is Sunday. Same reason the museum was closed. People got to go to church. Got to do it. I will show you around it. Okay, so you notice no grass, right? All sand. Leave in the comments if you think you know why there's no grass. Why it's all just sand. I'll tell you at the end of the video. So that was dedicated to the Chester family in 1977. Nice little swing. So if you imagine, think about no cars, nobody walking on your yard. You just sitting out here, 1890-ish. It's peaceful. Now granted, they didn't have AC, but I tell you what, that was some tough people back then. The Chesters are still pretty tough people. Got your grape arbor over here. Now, what you see here right now was not the extent of it. Where you have the back, those pines used to be a huge, that's where they had their gardens. And garden, you know, they'd grow corn, just anything you could think of. And that's how they survived. They didn't have to go to the store to get, hopefully the light will be right. They didn't have to go to the store to get food because they had it here. And in this storage shed would be where you put your canned foods. Some of these, as you can see, are old. Definitely not something I'd want to eat anymore. They're more here now for decorative purposes. This is the place. Had I grown up out here, I probably, as a small child, would have got a lot of whippings, because I'd be in here picking off the meat. So you got your fire in the center. That's where you would hang pieces of hog meat or whatever, and you still smell the smoke smell to it. I love it. Back side of the house. This right here is the kitchen area. Now, a lot of these houses back in the day, you see how the kitchen is attached. That's a bedroom. It's still attached. A lot of them back in the day, since I think this was made out of cypress, so they didn't have to worry as much. But if it was made out of fat lighter, your kitchen would never be attached to the house. Simply because if you have a fire in the kitchen, you don't lose your whole house. This is where they had their well. It's actually covered up now. And out here is just one of the back area where you would come to get your bath and wash up after a nice day's work. Let's just try. It opened. We're gonna try the other one now. Got your pump, which ain't working. Oh, does anybody know what that is? That is a pie safe. So grandma or mama would make a pie, and when she's done, she would put it in there so that the flies don't get to it. And let it cool, and you just come get you some pie. Oh, nope, that's locked. All right, so much for that. Now, granted, yeah, that is a garden. That is not the size of the garden that fed this whole huge family. Like I said, all that timber back there used to be a huge garden a long time ago. All right, so this is a syrup shed. All right, so what you do, let me show you this contraption out here first. What you do is you hook your mule or whatever kid's being bad to that pole, and see where those things right there, it's geared. So when you turn this, when you walk a circle with the mule or me tied to it. It turns those gears, and you take sugar cane, which same thing they make rum out of. We made corn whiskey down here, but anyway, you take the sugar cane, you put it through there, and it would squeeze the juice out. The juice would fall down a wooden trough here into a big bucket. They would take the juice over to this cauldron, which has a firebox under it. Take it over to the cauldron, put it in there, start cooking the juice down. Basically what you're doing is you're cooking, you have to watch that fire. You don't want to burn the stuff, but you would basically cook all the water, as much of the water as you can, out of the juice, and you come up with cane syrup. Cane syrup on a biscuit. Oh my goodness. Man, what you talking about? Got the chicken house over here, which they have redone. And we have a chicken. All right, we actually have chickens in there now. So the old chicken house, they wouldn't have lasted very long. Cool, good deal. And right here was your hog pen. Yeah, you have 3 or 4 or 5 hogs in there. Butcher one every so often. Where does that trail come out? There is a trail you can also go down here at the homestead. We're not going to take it today. It's just another, I mean, it's don't get me wrong, it's a nice trail. It is a nice trail. I don't feel like walking down it. I want to get you out on the boardwalk. Oh, look at that trail. It is nice. It is very shaded back there. It also goes, that trail used to go all the way to where you saw where the little pond was, and I told you that I believe there was a black caiman in there at one time. That used to link to that trail. Probably 2 miles long-ish. Now it just loops around probably half a mile. Oh yeah, we got grapes. Now they're not ready yet, but man, All right, so we're gonna head back to the truck, head down to the boardwalk, and we'll show you the boardwalk. As we're heading back out to the truck, I just want to say, if you ever get a chance to come out here to the homestead on what's called Pioneer Day, it's awesome. So you'll have people dressed up in period clothing. It's a lot of good food. A lot of it's stuff that would have been made here on the swamp. There's a lot of vendors, but Pioneer Day is really, really something to see. I cannot remember what time of the year it is. Haven't been in a few years, but look it up. Look up Folkestone, Georgia, Okefenokee Swamp Pioneer Day, and it's free. Pretty cool. Well, really cool. Now, if you want to buy something at the vendors, that's not free. All right, heading to the truck. We are now at the Chester Island Boardwalk. Just to let you know, both round trip is 1.5 miles. Chester Island Boardwalk, here we come. Used to be, this boardwalk was made entirely of wood. Back in the 80s, when I worked for Okefenokee Swamp with Youth Conservation Corps and as the fire crew. There's a deer stand trail again. Anyway, so we would have to come out, and any of the boards that were missing or getting bad, we would change them out. So years ago, we had that major fire came through and burnt most of the boardwalk. So they came back with some wood, and mostly this is not wood. This is a type of a plastic or something, but it's also fire retardant, if I am not mistaken. Man, it's nice back here. Many stories I could tell about working out here on this trail. Not going to right now. That might be on some of my camping videos. So I have yet to find him. Somewhere in one of these trees, probably on the back side of one of these dead trees. You can hear the woodpecker. Trying to get some lunch. Oh well. And you meet some of the coolest people out on this boardwalk. Just spoke with some people from Nebraska. Really nice people. All right, so this actually, before that major fire that I've talked about, you see the burnt post and kind of a trail-ish going that way. All this was covered woods. I mean, it was thick like that over there. All the trees, all the dead ones. A lot of this was really covered. Anyway, that went out to a birding spot. It was another offshoot of the boardwalk that never got rebuilt. I think there were 2 of them, if I remember correct. It's either 2 or 3. Yep, it is warm out here. Starting to be able to breathe through my nose a little bit. All right, so being that it is a longer trail and we have nice warm summers, you do have little sheltered areas like this where you can sit down in the shade. Oh my goodness, that breeze feels good. Oh yeah, we're gonna end the video here. I'm staying. Duh, just kidding. Yeah, if you need to cool off, you got these little places. Moving on. Oh, that's an inviting looking cypress stand right here. And inside that cypress stand is the tower. In that tower, we'll be able to get up high enough to look out over the swamp and see this place, see it for its real beauty. When I get up there, I'll pull out this sheet I have in my pocket with the prices of things that you can do. Like I said, I'm on the cheap. This is basically, you can do everything I've done today for, I think it's $5 per vehicle. to get in. I believe that's correct. Now, granted, I'm on the cheap because I have a pass, a federal pass. So let's get up into this monster. I'm not going to try to film and climb at the same time. So here we go. Wilderness as far as you can see. So this body of water down here is known as Seagrove Lake. No, you can't get to it. Unfortunately, there are no canoe or boat trails to get to it, which kind of is good, because now it becomes a beautiful scenic lake without a bunch of boats screwing it up. Now, let's see. Trying to get my bearings. That would be back towards the visitor center and all that stuff that we were at. Actually, a lot of people look at this and they go, oh, well, it used to confuse me on what direction I'm facing. Right now, I'm actually facing south. I'm looking the length of the swamp. So technically, more back that away is the visitor center. That, through these trees, is looking west across the swamp towards Fargo. Now, there is a canoe trail back out that way. You cannot see this, and you cannot see the canoes from here. You cannot see this tower from the trail, but it goes to Monkey Lake and Buzzard Roost and Gannett Lake. Monkey Lake is the platform that you can camp on. It's actually a little island. Raccoons are notorious for stealing your stuff there. But if you want to do some good fishing, go into or camp there, or you can take a motorized boat to Buzzard Roost Lake. And there is a lot of good fishing. It is way bigger than this Seagrove Lake. Here are the bullfrogs. Surprised I haven't heard any gators bellowing. As you can see, we still have remnants of the old fire. This actually at one time was very much grown over like a jungle. All right, so I told you I was going to give you some prices. I'm reading this off of the paperwork I got there at Okefenokee Adventures. If you wanted to spend some money, 90-minute guided tour. It's worth it. 90-minute guided tour, if you've never been here before, is pretty cool. Ages 12 and up, $35 a person. Children ages 4 to 11, $30 each. And anybody 3 and under, it's free. I like free. Let's see, there is a seasonal sunset tour. That's for a 2-hour tour, and that'll be like right before dark. That's $50 a person. for 12 and up. 4 through 11, 40 per person. 3 and under, free. So if you don't own a canoe or kayak and you would like to come out here and kayak, let's see, canoe and tandem kayaks $50 for all day. Single kayaks $30 all day. Bicycle rentals $20 all day. Pull along child carrier $5 all day. 4-hour extended excursions. 4-hour extended excursion. Okay. That, oh my goodness. If you come here by yourself, that's $300 for only one person. Otherwise, per person, it's $175 for two to three adults. $175 each, yeah, per person. If you have more than 4 people, it goes down to $150 a person. Now, I would say the 90-minute guided tour would probably be the better option. Let's see. John boat rentals. Okay. Oh, sorry. If you want to rent a John boat, 1 to 4 people, it's $130 per the group. Let's see if it tells how long that is. That's for up to 6 hours. If you got 5 to 6 people, $130. I'm sorry, 1 to 4 people is $150 per group. 3 to 6 people, $150 per the whole group. But I mean, you got a John boat, you can go do your own thing for 6 hours. That's not too bad. That's for the whole group. So that's the prices I'm looking at here. Okefenokee Adventures is open 7:30 a.m. daily, closes 6:30 p.m. March through October, 4:30 p.m. November through February, closed Thanksgiving and Christmas. And their number is 912-496-3331. And you could schedule your tour, or you can schedule it when you get there. So like I say, you can spend a lot of money, but it's pretty cool. You get to do all kind of good stuff here. But the whole premise of this video was Okefenokee on the cheap. Basically, everything I've done today, and believe me, there's a lot you can see out here. It is really, really amazing. Everything that I've done today, you could do for $5. Now, granted, like I said, if you wanted to go out, either bring you a canoe or a kayak if you have your own, and you don't get charged for anything, just go out and paddle. And you'll see in my videos, it's really amazing out there. Anyway, let's shut it down for right now.